You know how people like to disturb.
They do like to disturb on VPR Thursday, which they should never do. That's why I keep my phone on D&D. Hey world, it is VPR Radio. It's your girl Tiana the Goddess. I'm here with my incredible partner, DJ FMI. What's poppin', partner?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? It's a gloomy Thursday, but my
It is.
spirits are flying high. I'm
Mine.
finally getting comfortable in this October month. So at the beginning of it was pretty rocky,
Yeah.
but speaking about this October month, Kiana, of course I want to say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. And happy
VPR.
birthday to you, partner. Libra in the building, 10-1, 10-11. Yes.
Yes, I'm just like I'm not sure what you ran off and did because I know we live our private lives, but I
Yeah.
just want to make sure I got on here and say happy birthday. So for the people that's tuning in, make sure y'all spam that live chat. Say happy birthday for one and only Kiana the Goddess because she be holding it down here at VPR Radio.
I
And we
appreciate
got a
you.
busy week ahead of us too. So
Listen, we are truly Libra Nation around here, and it's all about the love and positivity.
I'm
And
gonna say I don't know if I could
you are one half, and I am one half,
hear
and I
you.
can't do this without you. You know what I mean?
Hey Kiana, I'm not sure if the audio cut out. I don't think I can hear you, or is it me?
I think it's you because I can hear you
You
clearly.
can hear me. All right.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Let me see this.
You know, we still. Oh, now you're muted.
Difficulty is
There we go. You know, we still
okay.
been back into Mercury retrograde again. It happened on my birthday. Thank you, Dexter. We appreciate you. Thank you to all that are watching. Please make sure that you share the live stream. We're going to have a really great show. I'm so looking forward to it. So, Chris Weaver, who was a contestant on The Voice, if you guys watch The Voice, you may be familiar. I believe it's still on NBC. And he worked with Jennifer Hudson. So, definitely looking forward to having him here. And then Rhyme Recca, if you remember, partner, we actually met
Yeah.
Super MC and with Baby.
What guys? You see what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with the audio, but my audio has cut out here. I'm gonna rejoin the room, Kiana, in like 2 seconds. And we're gonna do that VP. I'm gonna keep the live stream going.
Okay. Welcome to a live
I
stream. This is how
appreciate
it
y'all.
goes. You know, we're live and we keep it
Make sure I
going.
close this
Good morning,
down.
Yvonne. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yes, we were just talking. This is actually Yvonne's client, Chris. Can't wait to have him on. And we definitely want to hear that beautiful, smooth voice. And then we're going to have Rhyme Recca. He is a hip hop artist. He's really dope. Shout out to MJ and all of her clients. It's going to be a great show. So, unfortunately, my partner is having some audio issues. We're back in Mercury retrograde. So, y'all know that's how it goes. But shout out to everyone on the live stream. Let me see, check out who's here and what we're doing. I can't always see you guys' comments either because, you know, things are just sometimes crazy. Of course, I'm so happy to have him. And we can't wait to come to his listening party tomorrow as well. You guys definitely go and follow both Chris Weaver and Rhyme Recca. Chris Weaver is just at Weaver. And check our Instagram. Follow Yvonne Forbes, La Belle La Diva PR. That's my girl from way back when. You know, when you're talking about hustling hard and being a woman in this industry that gives your all, I think for me, the biggest blessing as an entrepreneur is being able to watch those around me that I have seen come from, you know, the very start, or they were in the middle of their career, or even switching careers and just working their way so diligently to the top. For me, it's very inspirational. You know, I love to be surrounded by people that will inspire me to greater heights. I love you too, Yvonne. I think you're absolutely marvelous. Can't wait to give you lots of hugs tomorrow. So I'm not sure what's happening with FMI. Let me send him a quick text, you guys. If there's anything you want to talk about while we wait to get this audio and video in sync, then just hit me on the Facebook chat and I definitely will. Yeah, guys, it's Mercury retrograde. Oh, and of course, it would be on a double show, right? That we have two guests back to back that are about to come in. So, yeah, this is how it goes at times. But you know, shout out to everyone on the live. If I can't see you, sometimes I can't see these comments. Please forgive me. I always like to come back to the live stream afterwards. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's such a dreary day here in New York City. I was like, let me bring out a little summer situation because sometimes you just got to bring the sunshine to the party. You know what I'm saying? If the sunshine isn't out there, bring the sunshine to the party. That's what I say. Let's see what's happening with my partner, you guys. Okay. I'm going to see if he can come in on his cell phone because I'm not sure what issues are happening, but I know Chris will be slipping in soon. Definitely can't wait to have him. And we have to have FMI here. I mean, come on. We got to have FMI here or it's not a discussion, right? That's what I say. Oh, yes, definitely. There we go. Look, speaking of the partner, there he goes. How are you now, partner? Are we good with audio?
Yeah, now I can hear you guys perfectly. I apologize, VPR. I don't know what has happened.
You guys, partner. Shit happens, man. We know what's up.
Definitely. The universe, it feels like it's out of whack for me, but how you feeling today, partner?
You know, like you said, the month has been a bit crazy. It actually started for me last month. So I feel like things are slipping back into balance now. It's been a slow crawl. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, Yvonne, you should definitely bring the sunshine to the party. And shout out to is it still Fashion in the Fast Lane? What are you guys calling the show? But guys, check out her show. Definitely. It's dope and they do great events as well. So I know Chris is going to be coming in. Are you good now, partner?
Yeah, I'm great now, VPR. I'm sitting there right now even while we're doing the interview. I can't wait to tomorrow head to the listening party.
Yeah.
For our guest that's about to be here. You know what I mean? I got a preview of the single. I'm not sure if he's gonna play it on the live for you guys today, but
we're gonna ask him to sing live for us. How about that, partner?
It's been a while, VPR. It's been a while since we asked anybody to do anything live here and since we've been out of studio, but I'm definitely here for it now.
Yeah, Fashion, etc. That's the one. Yes, Fashion, etc. Their show is fabulous. I love you guys, both of you.
Shout out to everybody right now, and I can see on the side of the screen, right? And I appreciate all the love, and I know Kiana does as well.
Definitely.
But, right now, Kiana, I woke up today and I was having a thought to myself before we hopped on air. And before, I opened my phone and I did my little scroll.
Yeah.
And just seeing that Chase is cutting ties with Kanye off his comments with, when he went on Fox and when he was at TMZ about Jewish people and anti-Semitic. It's crazy how now he's like rocking the cradle. And I'm here asking, like,
is he being anti-Semitic or is he being honest? I mean, even you had JD here, right? He went to Israel and he spoke with the original Israelites, which are Black people.
Two things could be true, but in his case, I'm watching all the backlash he's getting now, as far as like businesses turning away from him, Adidas, etc. And I'm just like, are we finally seeing the cancellation of Kanye's? After all he's done.
I don't think so. Kanye loves to shake things up. I feel like he lives for that sort of fanfare. He does things that will get people talking. And to be honest, the more people are talking, the more popular you're going to be. And I think that he's mastered that. Isn't Kanye a billionaire already? Hey, Chris, we see you. We're about to bring you right up.
I don't be pocket watching, but hey, man, you got a little bit more than me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not pocket watching either, but I think if he hasn't hit billionaire status yet, he's already there. So at the end of the day, if some sponsors turn away, other ones will turn toward him. And I think he's shaking up not just industries, but he's shaking up different groups of people and stuff. And I think that he's being methodical, to be honest with you.
Have you seen his school?
His school?
Yeah, he has an actual school. And I was watching them. They were actually singing. It doesn't connect to any like curriculum. I think all the parents have to sign NDAs, and I'm not sure about like tuition, but on a quick video, it had the kids singing like Donda, and the beginning of the song "Good Morning," the "Good Morning," like the background was doing that, and then the other one was like Donda. I was just like, yo, Kanye is creating his vision. Nobody's stopping him, and hey, he's free. That's what they would call it.
He said he just want to build hotels and nail it. So look, Whatever he does. Let's bring CJW up to the stream. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Hello. Hi, how are you?
We are great. It's so good to have you here. Welcome
Thank you
to
for
the
having
show.
me. So good to be here.
Yes. So I want to hear all about your journey before you got to The Voice, like what you were involved in musically, and then your journey to actually auditioning, because I know the audition process is also crazy, and then how you landed on The Voice and working with Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up in church, so I was singing there, but I remember watching early videos of me singing and thinking like somebody should have definitely steered me in a different direction than singing, because I didn't think that was, I was very good at it. But it wasn't until I was about 8 years old and I remember singing "Precious Lord, Take My Hand" in church, and the response of people, and I was like, oh, we might have something here. And so that's when I decided to take an interest in music and singing, and then I began to sing more and be on the choir. And when our pastor would go out to preach, I would sing before he preached, and I was in the chorus in school, and so music just became a part of my everyday life, and it became what I lived, breathed, and ate. So yeah, that was it. And that was all through high school, and then actually there wasn't a year that I quit choir because I was sick of choral music, and I was like, I'm sick of doing this, and the next year I ran back because I was so miserable. Then I went to college and I was a music major. I went in as a music major to Central College in Pella, Iowa. And my professor said, I promise to pass you if you promise never to take another music theory class here again. And so I did that, because at that point I decided I want to perform and I don't need a degree to do it. But I was still in all the vocal ensembles on campus. And yeah, and I got to study abroad and sing with the London Community Gospel Choir, and we got to travel through my college choir. And so, I mean, it just became who I was. And so then I stayed in Iowa, worked at a mega church for 3 years as a worship leader, and then I moved to Iowa City for a year, and I wasn't singing. And so I was like, two things I said. I said I would never move back to New York, where I'm from, and I said that I wanted to sing. And so I was in Iowa City, not singing. I was working at a hotel and not singing for a year, and it was the most miserable thing that I've ever experienced. And so it worked out where I could move back to New York, and so I moved back here in 2014. And
you said you'd never move back to.
Yeah, I'm like, what do we have against New York? And now we all from New York.
I'm not even mad at it, because when I plan on coming back, but I will visit.
See, I grew up here and I was like, I needed something different. I needed something like that, yeah. But when you go away and you come back, you realize that there is really no place like New York.
Facts.
And so it was the best decision I made. So I came here and I was auditioning for all these Broadway shows. And I remember being out at bars and such and realizing, like, when the people really got into the talk about Broadway and the city, and I was like, I know nothing about this. And so I think when I realized that that's not where my calling was at that moment, like to audition for Broadway, that's actually when that audition for The Voice came along. And, it changed my life.
How did you hear about it? Like, did you get an email? Yeah, did
like,
tell you about it?
You just fell upon, The Voice and just like, hey, I'm here now. You're amazing.
Well, I did two cattle calls. So they do the auditions where they call, anybody can go. Right. So I did one in Chicago, and I did one the first year when I moved to New York at the Javits Center. Right. And the funny thing is, I sing the same songs both years, and I'm pretty sure that I got the same producer for both years, and didn't realize it until after the audition. And so after that, I did a singing competition at a bar in New York, Stonewall Sensation, and then a friend of mine said, my friend produces this singing show uptown at this bar, and he wants you to do it. And I was like, I'm done doing bar shows. I'm not doing it. And this man literally tracked me down. Like, I would go to karaoke Tuesdays, he would be there. I would go to this different bar, he would be there. And so it was Peter Dunn who produced So You Think You Can Belt, which I ended up competing in and then being a judge in later. And so I didn't realize that he was a producer on X Factor and America's Got Talent at some point. So they reached out to him and said, give us 10 people who you would recommend for a private audition. And I was one of the 10.
Amazing. So guys, you see what we say, right? About your connections and maintenance of your connections. Like your network essentially becomes your net worth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
tell us about this private audition, because most people don't get that opportunity, right? You're out with the thousands of people online at like the MetLife Stadium or however they're doing it. You've got this private audition. It's just you. What did you sing?
So we had to prepare 3 songs, I believe.
Like a
So,
ballad.
yeah, and an upbeat song, and I remember, I think one of the songs I picked was Audra Day's "I'll Rise Up," which I did not know at the time, really, but I was like, So the day of those auditions, there was a snowstorm in New York, and I remember going out because we were so excited, and I went out with my friend, and we stayed out a little too long. And actually, that friend actually ended up being on the next season of The Voice. But I remember calling because of the snowstorm and saying, what if we can't make an audition? So I took a cab to 53rd Street, right? And I had him drop me off at the beginning of the block. And I finally got a call that said, if you can't make it today, you can come tomorrow. So I took my behind home, and I rested, and I practiced, and I came back the next day, and it was in the studio. And so, yeah, I think my audition song was Superstition, I'll Rise Up, and I don't know what the other one was. But, you've done it multiple times, and so you think that they're just going to be like, thank you for coming, So they were talking, and then they said, well, all right, Chris, well, we're going to move you on to the next round. And I was like, what? So you don't really know what to do. So you go on the interviews then. And it really is a process. And by the time you get done with that, they say, we'll let you know if you go to executive auditions. Some folks will know as far as 4 days in advance. Some folks will know the day before. And so I got the call that I was going to LA for a week to do the executive calls. And that was amazing. So.
And that's when you get to bring your family and
No, this is just, you're now auditioning for the executives of the network.
Okay.
So it's just you and the 100 people or how many other people that they have auditioning, and you're sequestered in a hotel, and you can go only a mile radius from there. So there's a bunch of restaurants within that mile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Miles. They're like dope.
You only go a mile. If you go 1 meter, 1 mile,
you're right. So
you're on parole while you're here.
and so in my mind, I was like, okay, like this is too much. So we get past that, and so at the end of it, they call 2 groups into a room, and they say, it'll be a group A and a group B, and one group will be told that they're going on, and one group will be told. So I'm in the second group, of course, and of course we're sitting there waiting for this meeting to be over, and they come out, and I remember this one girl, Brittany, who was on my season actually. She's like, I said, Brittany, you're giving me so much anxiety because we're trying to tell on the faces of the people when they come out. Is that a sad face? Is that like they're going on face? So we get in there, and they let us know that we're all in the running, and I'm just like this relief.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, this is really happening. So now we go home, and then they, tell us that we come back for auditions. We're there a month before auditions. Again, sequestered. And
so that week turned into a month.
Yeah, that week you go home, you get it for a week or 2, and then you come back for a month.
Wow. Okay.
And so you can only go a mile radius from the hotel for a month. And you think like this is not that serious. It's like, nobody even knows who we are yet. But I remember there were reports of like reporters like finding out where we were and offering people money in the elevators to like give them the list of who was auditioning. So yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. So that kind of stuff does go on. But yeah, a month is a long time before you have to audition. And to be around, a group of people, that's a long time.
Strangers. You know what I mean? And in some way where you don't know. So yeah, continue on. What would you say?
So we went through that, and through that month, everybody had their different breaking point of like, I don't know. And so here I am all month being people's like, listen, this is if you're meant to be here, you're meant to be here. And I remember the couple of days before the auditions, I finally like felt this breakdown, and I was like, oh no. But then we get to the week of auditions. Now they take, you can't have phones or anything. And your family is here. And so once you leave the hotel for auditions, you don't come back. So, we get no information. And it's chosen at random. So you have Monday through Friday, and they call you at random. And if, say you're on Friday, if they have filled the slots by then, you just don't audition. So you've been there for a month and you don't audition.
That is crazy.
And so I think I was called on Thursday. So, and those started on Monday. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, like I was so scared because I was like, what if I did not have the chance to audition? And then that really put something into your mind to say, you know what, this is your one chance. You can either do this for the rest of your life or you can keep auditioning for things, And I remember being, before that door opened, being like, leave it all on the stage because this is what I want to do. And so I would like to think that I did just that. So yeah, and then the rest.
Right. That's such a crazy experience. It sounds like quarantine, Big Brother, and the real world all together.
And I'm like, you're taking on so many other people's emotions. You guys are hearing each other practice. Did anyone drop out, like from the anxiety or the pressure?
So people don't drop out, but so there's a casting agency that casts you before, you're dealing with them and so there were days where we wake up and people would get calls saying, unfortunately, casting has decided not to move on with your audition, and we'll be there to please have your stuff ready by noon for a shuttle to pick you up. And they give you no rhyme or reason why you've been called. And so like by mid a month, we are all on edge. Like anybody can get a call.
Who's next? Right.
So, and I remember actually one of the girls who did get a call was Christina Ray, who went on to be a finalist in America's Got Talent. Huh. So, but it's just, it's very nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. So going through all of those experiences, how did you translate it to your single and your music? Did any of that influence it, just those hard times?
Yeah, the thing was, I realized that I wasn't putting out any music, or I probably wasn't using the notoriety at the time properly when I got off, because I got wrapped up in local celebrityism, and I was finding that I wasn't fulfilled, and I wasn't, really wasn't doing anything, because I wasn't. There's nothing that I'm really more passionate about than singing, and I remember it was an argument that two friends had, and I was trying to help them out, and then I realized that they could have figured this out on their own. And I remember at that moment I said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm done helping other people achieve their dreams and achieve their goals, and me missing out." And that's when I decided I was going to record "Mary Did You Know," which was the first single that I put out. And I was so determined to do it that we did the licensing and everything for it, that it literally came out Christmas Eve. And I know Christmas songs are supposed to be out way before then, but I had decided that I'm going to come hell or high water, I'm going to get this done as a testament to myself, and to prove that I really want to, that I want to do this. And so that happened. And then, just a couple of things happened along the way. And then one day my publicist, Yvonne Forbes, introduced me to one of her clients who used to work for Sony. And so, because Yvonne was like, we need to get a song out there. And so we started talking about doing a song, and I really wish I could tell you how, but I can't tell you how. Here we are almost a year and some change later, and we have a single coming out, and we're working on an album. That was never the plan. So
that's how Yvonne does, honey. She's going to take the greatness.
Never the plan, but it's the plan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and so it's been a wonderful experience. I've learned so much about myself as an artist, and as I wasn't a real big writer, or I always used to say I want to just inspire people with my music, until one of my producers said, when you tell your story, all your story can't be inspiring. They said when you make an album, you tell your story. People want to know because they can relate to the hard times, the dark times, and so it really taught me the ebbs and flow of really creating a good album and a good record. And so I mean, it's been very eye-opening. It's been great though, and I've learned a lot about myself in the process. So yeah.
So Friday, you're doing the single release, correct?
I am tomorrow.
How
night.
are you feeling? How are you feeling?
So it's still, people keep asking me, how do you feel? And I'm like, you know, I'm here. It's just it feels so unreal that you have a single coming out that could possibly, you know, I mean, if heard by the right people,
change your life. Every single could change your life, you know, if it falls.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
And so to, you know, for that to be happening, like I've sat with these songs for months. So I'm like, oh,
yeah, you're on to the next song. I get how that is.
But to know that the world is going to hear some, you know, that they've heard a clip for the last month, they've heard a clip, and that they're going to hear all 5 minutes of the song or 4 minutes of the song, and that somebody is going to be like, wow, this is really speaks to me, or this really, you know, is a jam. Like it's crazy to me. So, but I'm very excited.
So that brings me to my next question. So for the people that are tuning in right now on our live VPR, that's going to be on YouTube, what feeling do they get from the record the minute they hit play? If you could explain that, what mood are you setting? Or unless we could have a little acapella right now, I wouldn't be too mad.
So I mean, I think that it opens up and it gives this sultry. So you have the music drops, and then, you know, I just come in and ooh, take your time. And so I think it's a very inviting. I think it's an inviting. You know, there's so much going on in the world today and in people's lives. And I remember we thought after pandemic, maybe we take things a little easier. I feel like things are crazier. And so sometimes we just need to be reminded to take a moment, take your time, because life happens and that's not going to change anything. So I hope that's what people really get for this record, because there's a lot of life to be lived out there, and you don't want to miss it.
That's right. We want to hear a little bit more of that. Come on, Chris. A little more. Can we hear a little more of that?
Your time. Take your time. Take your time with me. Yeah. Take your time with me. Oh, spend your life with me. Share my energy, and let's just be free. There you go.
VPR.
I'm talking about, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I needed that. It woke my soul up on this gloomy day in New York.
I know.
Yes. We are so looking forward to your album release party tomorrow. I can't wait.
Thank you.
We're excited. So tell us what's next for you. I know you have your album coming up. Like, this is just the beginning for you, right? What are your biggest goals over like the next few years?
I think honestly, I think I'm reevaluating those goals, because I'm in such a season of manifestation of things in my life that it's like, oh, so now that you know this really can happen.
Yes.
You know, now it seems attainable. It's a different. You have a different. Your mind is just different. You know.
That's right. Yvonne said Grammy Award. Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully. So you know. So actually, I'm leaving 2 weeks to go on to do a second leg of a tour with Booker T. Do the Stax review. So we're on a cruise. So that'll be fun. The Rhythm and Blues cruise.
Okay.
And I actually just got back from London from working on a project. So that'll be out in the next year or two. At Abbey Road. We recorded at Abbey Road Studios in London. And you know, things just keep happening. I entered this background singing competition. I think I'm allowed to talk about it. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna say who, but it's on Instagram. And I got through the first round, and Yvonne doesn't even know this, but last night I got through the second round of auditions. So this artist is planning a huge tour next year.
Wow.
So it's so crazy. You know, when it's your season, it really is your season.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing for me was always feeling like I didn't go through enough, or enough never happened to me to get where I was, until I realized, no, whatever you went through was exactly what you needed to be where you are. You deserve to be where you are. So
That's right. It's crazy because a lot of times, and that's where like that imposter syndrome comes from, right? Because it's like, am I deserving of this? But the fact is that we're all deserving, and it's about flipping that mindset. So being in that manifestation station right there that you're in, I mean, reap it all.
Yep.
I absolutely love it. Just stay in your harvest, and you know, stay positive, and giving us that beautiful voice. I mean, wow.
Thank you.
Now, before you get up out of here, my question to you is, do you have any advice, actually, for any artist that's listening right now? Because your story right now is amazing, and I love the path that you're on. I'm loving what I heard from the preview of the single, and I can't wait for tomorrow. So, your advice to the upcoming artists?
I would tell them. I would tell them what I always say. This I always tell people. The last thing I say, I always live, because you only have one life, and I always say I would rather die with, remember that time when that didn't work. I would rather do that than die with what ifs. Asking myself, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done this? The world is there's so many opportunity in the world that you can try. If you have an inkling to try something, that you can do it. And so for any artists out there, if you want to pursue music, pursue it, because especially now, you don't need labels. Although I do love my labels, sound heard. Yeah, but it's easier now, and it's easier to be heard. It's easier to be visible, and the thing is, we're all given gifts, and the gifts that we're given are not for us, but they're for someone else. And so you would be really, doing a disservice to yourself and others if you didn't share that gift. So share your artistry, and especially that's what the world needs right now. They need art, they need music, they need love. So to any artist out there, go for it. It can happen.
I love that. I mean, that was perfection, right? What a fantastic, and that's so aligned with the vibration of VPR radio.
That is great.
There's a lot of negativity out there. We don't bring that. We want to, hit you with the positive and the light, and let everyone be inspired. Like you said, we have these gifts. These gifts are for others. Yep. Bless the world with your gifts, and the world will continue to be a blessing and bless others. And it carries on. So that's how you change, what you see going bad is you putting love, and you keep putting art, and you keep creating, and you keep putting positivity in the world. So that is great. We're so excited for you and your career. Definitely see that Grammy in the future. You might be with that, honey. Okay, see you on Broadway regardless, and you have to. You know what I'm saying? Everything comes full circle, right?
I know that's right.
You're coming for the old. I hear that.
Hopefully get that EGOT,
Okay, guys, make sure you guys go and follow Chris Weaver. He's very, very easy to find and engage with, and make sure that you get that single when it comes out tomorrow. So we're excited about that.
Spotify, Apple, all that. Make sure y'all check it out.
And also live stream the release tomorrow at 7:30. Yes, it's on. It'll be on Facebook, VReal, I believe Instagram. But if you go to my page, you'll see it. I'll put the link up there. But at 7:30 tomorrow, we'll be live streaming the release.
And that's 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right?
Eastern time, yes.
Okay, perfect. So you guys go check him out. They'll have that live link, and you can hear the song live and watch him and react and engage, and that's going to be great. So that's going to be fantastic. You'll probably see us in the background. Hey.
Like, I'm about to say that I'm going to be on a live interview. I'm saying, getting that interview, but definitely thanks for stopping by the show, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. We'd love to have you back on in the future. So I'll talk to Yvonne, and we'll get you back on for next season and see what you've been up to. Okay. Do that check-in. Have a fantastic day. Stay positive. Stay great. And we'll see you tomorrow.
You as well.
Bye, guys.
Ciao. Amazing.
Some people's career just baffle me. Being an artist, being an entrepreneur, being any musician, and just seeing him going from stage to stage, finding a way, right? We didn't even hear the hard parts. We just got a little breeze through of just this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened.
Yeah.
It's a blessing, VPR. It just to show you that you can make a living in this career, chasing your dreams, doing things that you love, and you don't have to follow the status quo.
You don't. But I found two things, and I find that these two things are paramount in any successful story, right? You got to really want it, and you got to not give up. All right. So you got to have that desire, and you've got to have that diligence. So think about it, a month, right? Within that month time frame, you could be called and told, we're not going to proceed. Everybody's like this every day, biting their teeth.
You done stopped your whole life to do this show. You know what I mean?
How whole life.
I say, you know what I mean? I'm like, how he was getting money at this? That's what I'm thinking about. You're in a room practicing singing all day, waiting on a call. Like,
well, I'm sure they pay for your expenses and stuff while you're out there. But like, let's think about, how are you paying for your rent? Like, did you have to quit your job? There's so many things that you have to consider. But it's like, how bad do you want it? And I think that's, you know, when you stop living in fear and you just start throwing that fear to the wind and say, like you said, life is short. Right? If you don't try it, I tell my kids this all the time, because I like them to speak up. I like them to speak their mind and ask questions. Because I said, even if you expect a no, right? If the worst answer that you could get is a no, and you know that that's a possibility, the best answer that you can get is a yes. But you create a no when you don't even answer the question, when you don't even ask the question. So ask the question, because half of that time you'll find, or more, you'll probably get a yes.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Facts.
I say that, you know what I mean? If somebody's going to tell you a no, what's that going to do? It's like, all right, you're going to move on to the next person. You know what I mean? You're going to figure it out for yourself.
That's another thing. Don't let the no stop you. You know, kick doors down. We don't let no stop us.
Look at Ye.
No.
He kept. I'm sorry, VPR. I've been having a blast with this because I'm just like, I'm having a conflict of interest every time I put on my Yeezy shoes. And I see the man wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, which them lives matter, but I don't know, man. That shirt ain't hitting. And I was just
what's interesting about Kanye is, at the end of the day, he really is a creative genius, and he's also very intelligent. The conversations that he started, and what's interesting, watch the entire Fox interview, because there's a lot that they edited out.
That Tucker Carlson interview, VPR, it rubbed me a wrong way, not because I don't like it where he's like his beliefs. It's just the way he was coming across. It seemed too comical for me at times, you know, and he was just all over the place too a little bit.
He is all over.
So it was just not a good look, but you know, I'll give it a watch, a full watch again.
But it's like, who are we looking up to? Like, is Kanye the one that we go to for our political decisions?
Yeah.
You know, is Kanye the one we go to decide whether Black lives are more important than white? I just feel like also when it comes to these celebrities and stuff, they get way too much stock in what they feel, what they wear, how they act. For crying out loud, he had people in the Gap digging in garbage bags for clothes.
That man knows how to market. I'm just saying, he got people wearing open-toe Croc shoes and I'll have a pair, and they're mad comfortable. I ain't gonna lie to y'all people. I will never lie. They're comfortable. I've not put on one of this man's sneakers that's not comfortable. And I used to like Jordans, but Jordans are uncomfortable.
They look comfortable because
very.
They're homey, you know. Like
I'm like, but this ain't a commercial for Yeezys either. But
no, it's not.
My thing is,
unless you want to sponsor us,
we'll
give you a commercial.
It's just all the waves that he's creating. You know, even with Kim K, like Candace releasing the audio of Ray J when she's on the voicemail with Ray J, saying with Whitney Houston, like, "Oh, crack is this," and going after, and like she's looking crazy. Candace Owens, of course, looking at Black Lives Matter, running commercials on YouTube, showing it's a fraud. You know, the 80 million, and it's a mess. It's a mess, but
I mean, at the
end have to say something, and I ain't knocking that.
There were a lot of things that Kanye said that were true.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I think we have to dig deeper than what a lot of people are screaming. Black Lives Matter, but what does that mean at the end of the day? And I personally, yes, Black Lives Matter, but I don't even like that statement, because why do we have to scream for our lives to matter? Like, I don't remember Bellamy. I don't remember if I'm wrong, but there was a comedian that was saying just this, and I was like, exactly. He's like, think about it. Black lives matter. Not, you know, they're important, not this, but just the basics. So we need more than the basics. You know, Black lives are equal. Like, we need equality, and we need reciprocity and opportunities and education, and not to be redlined, and, you know, to get our reparations and all of those other things.
And I feel like every other, you know, ethnicity has that. You know, they're recognized with a certain amount of stigma. And I understand nothing is perfect. There are bad apples in every walking treat of life. But it's a crazy time how we have to yell to be noticed in the room. Years and years and years and years. But Kiana, I have a personal question for you.
Sure.
I like to entertain myself. I like to put on a Breakfast Club, and I was watching Charlemagne because Charlemagne, he's grown over the years with his interviews. I love Charlemagne's work and what he's going to do. You know, he had Diddy on his show, and the conversation came up of, you know, hey, how come you could, you know, date people that your son has dated, and, you know, Young Miami and the multiple women. He laughed it off. But when they flipped the question, Charlemagne said, so if your daughter, that's your age, dates a 50-year-old man, is that cool? Yeah. And he's just like, right. Love is love, you know? And it was the funniest combo. Now, I'm just like, what is the age? What's the age difference and the gap? What's too much? Is 50 to 21? Yeah.
For me personally, it's interesting that you asked me that, because I found that people that approach me are getting younger and younger, right? I'm like, I don't know why y'all trying to turn me into I don't know why y'all trying to turn me into a cougar, but I'm good on that.
COVID done made people grow up. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, they're getting there. Like, I'm watching you. I'm like, no, young man. You know, I can't have anybody that's close to my son's ages, which my oldest son is 25, and then the middle one is 23. So if you're in your 20s, that's definitely a wrap. If you're in your early 30s or even like 35, that's too young for me.
You're breaking a lot of people's heart in my DM right now, because my friends be still DMing, and they're like, yo, man, I'm a man and I can look out. But
it would take, you know, it would take a lot of emotional maturity. I don't even want to put a stigma on like the number, besides the 20s, definitely, but like it would take a level of emotional maturity, because there's even men I've dated that are in their 40s and even their 50s that are emotionally immature and mentally unstable. So age doesn't always mean it. You know what I mean? For me, it's about the alignment, and it's about mental maturity, emotional maturity, and availability. So unfortunately, I find that, I'll just say New York men, right? That may not start until like the late 30s. So you know, what about you?
That's not an off number, Kiana. That's pretty fair.
That's
pretty fair. That's pretty common. All right. While I was enjoying that conversation, we do have our next guest. Kiana, would you mind bringing him up onto the stage?
Let's bring Ron Recca up to the stage. What's up? How are you?
What's up, people?
We're chilling. It's been a minute.
What's going on, man?
We are chilling. How's everything going on your side? Tell us what you've been up to. You know, you've been busy.
Consistently grinding, working on the project, shooting videos, editing, just staying busy. That's all. That's what it's been. Trying to finish up a good project so I can try to bless the people with some good music, some good product. That's all. Daily struggles, day to day, like everybody going through. But trying to stay focused on the plan, staying out the way.
That's what I like to hear. I was on your YouTube, and I'm just sitting there. I was looking at all your videos and VPR. I'm like, this man has been consistently grinding. He got 1.3K on this one. Every video he's putting out, I'm just like, yo, how do you work at this consistent pace? That's what I got to ask you. I edit. So I'm just like, how is he just?
A lot of sacrificing, I can tell you that much. To edit and write and produce is time consuming, because sometimes when you're doing music, you got to get out of the music phase and just get into filming and editing, and then that becomes its own, personal nightmare. Hearing the same thing over and over, even when it's yourself, the grandeur, even yourself, is annoying.
When you have to edit for the last hour and you're just trying to get this 1 second right, this one transition correct, and you're over there and you have to look at the same person for an hour, I'm telling you, VPR, it's not like you would hate anybody.
You start to hate yourself, right? Already.
I don't know. It's like being trapped in the elevator with a certain amount of people for a long period of time. Even that little space I got to be talking, it becomes not enough. So, yeah, man. Do I love editing? I like shooting more than editing, but editing gets the job done. So,
yeah.
Yeah, man.
But I think it's so important that you take on these jobs, because as entrepreneurs, musicians, creators, the more you know how to do, the more you can get accomplished. Because even when you have a team of people around you, sometimes they may not be available, or they've got other projects they have to tend to. And if you need something done now, when you know how to get it done yourself, even if you have to take the time, like you said, it's a sacrifice for sure. But you know, that sacrifice is certainly worth it.
Crucial.
Definitely. All of, like, everything that I do is because I either got tired of waiting for that person of that service.
Yep.
And in the waiting, like, producers, they hot. You gotta wait for them to get to you. Graphic designers are busy, everything. So I would, in my time of waiting, or what you couldn't afford to get at their rates, I started thinking like, yo, who know what I want to round to better than me?
Yeah.
Who know what I want to look like better than me? Who see the vision better than me?
Right.
Me. And so it just became cost effective, that do it yourself mantra. It works, but like I said, when you're independent, I haven't met an independent person that doesn't wear multiple hats. So
yeah, absolutely. That's so important.
True. The longer you go through the industry, you just pick up.
You learn.
You have to. So can you just give people that are tuning in right now just a quick background onto how you entered the industry and how you got here right now?
Oh man, came in mid late 90s. Sorry, started Next Level. Me, Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, Foxy Brown, Red Sam, Ruckus, Headless Horseman, DR Period, Next Level. Went through that. We came with the Broken Language and all that stuff, and that kind of got us all rolling. DV Elias Christ as well. Doing that at the same time, me living in Park Hill houses in Staten Island. My family also come from Brooklyn, so I also spend a lot of time in Brooklyn as well. So that's how I had, nurturing in both worlds. And at the same time, I lived in Park Hill. I grew up with, with a lot of people would wind up, childhood friends turn into Wu-Tang Clan. So it was kind of like being in the right place at the right time, and it all flowing organically. And from that, I went to, went messing with my hometown fam and got on Capadonna's first album. But first, we did the Totally Touch mixtape, 50 MCs, the first tape. And then we did the Pillage album. From the Pillage album, I went, running with Capadonna. And then I got to mess with Raekwon. And we did, he was forming American Cream Team after the Cuban Links album. And from there on, it just, runway from the whole way to the Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? Film and all that stuff. So
that's fine. Just being in the right place at the right time and having the right energy, you know what I mean? And just having the right mindset will get you far in that.
But when I look back at it, I'm surrounded by so many dope people. Like the clan is childhood friends, neighbors, actual neighbors. Mm-hmm. UMCs, I grew up with them. Me and Haas, we all childhood friends.
Right.
And then on the Brooklyn side, everybody, everybody knew each other within whatever community you in. So I came at the right time, which was a dope time. I was young. I was too young to participate, but old enough to observe, and then had the time to do it myself, basically.
So let me ask you a question, because we actually had a dope artist from Staten Island here last week as well, and we were talking about like how Staten Island is often just, people just equate it with Wu-Tang. But there's a lot of other dope artists. You had so many different types of hip hop influences around you. How were you able to kind of identify your own sound when it comes to not just your MCing, but your production?
Because I really was a fan of the culture. I went through all the steps. I tried my hand in graffiti. I loved that. That didn't work out, but it was all, I'm still an enthusiast. Shout out to all the graph writers. Dancing, hip hop, going to the store, buying the records, going to the block parties, going to the jams, sneaking in the clubs. Shout out to the whole 10 o'clock boat crew. It really fast forward. They were sneaking me in clubs at 16 And from there, it was just nightlife, fast paced, music videos, everything. The whole, you run the whole gamut of it, down to the fashion. And through all that time, my secret love for, eventually becoming rhyming, which I really jumped into production first. And my grandmother got me a Casio SK1, and it only sampled like 2.4 seconds. So you had the high speed dubbing, and then you get like 8 seconds or something. Then you learn to sample from there, and then it became rap for me. So that whole voice, listening to Dr. Dre's, Run DMC, like every dope artist that's came out, I pretty much, like I said, I'm a fan of many greats.
And you know what I love about this, Kiana? On VPR here, we have so many viewers now that they don't even know what a boombox is. Like, I have some people, my like little cousins and 17, they'll be like, yo, I see what you watching, bro. I watch you on VPR. So when you're saying all of this, graffiti, dancing and then breaking into different parts of that, it's so different now. Where we have the internet, where they just put it on their phone. Yo, I was on SoundCloud, and then they got,
He's talking about the original elements of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I love that it's discussed, and it needs to be. So when I'm hearing this, especially being from Staten Island, the story other than Wu-Tang is not as much told. And we was having this discussion with the last guest. You know what I mean?
And it's people. It's so much talent on there. We got a lot of actors that came over Staten Island. We got singers. We got Force and D's. It's a lot of rich talent out there. It's like untapped. It's really probably getting the surface.
Yeah.
Just with the run of us. There's so much young talent, hungry artists out there, singers, actors, rappers, producers out there. Shout out to Peso Poppy. He's young talent right there. But it's rich out there, and it's very competitive,
Mm-hmm.
So,
everywhere in New York is competitive. You could be from the next building over.
Yeah.
One wall separating you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still gonna whisper through the wall, I'm better than you.
That's
I know.
And that's what I love about living in New York City. There's hella talent here, man. Like, even you go through the subways, if you can make it past the rats and the people that might try to push you, you'll hear people belting their heart out. I mean, there's so much talent here. And we love to be able to, especially when it comes to the independent artists, like you said, it's rich in talent, right? But not everybody gets that opportunity for, the commercial play or to get the machine of the label behind them. So when you see an artist that knows how to identify with doing what they need to do to be successful independently, I mean, I think that's beyond.
I think the internet and technology, what I like, it gives everybody access at times to, it's oversaturated, but at the same time, it gives everybody a fair chance where when you think about this, like with gatekeepers, right? Without technology, they really, really, had everybody bend to their will. And now they can't stop as many people at the door like a security guard because of the internet.
So,
yeah.
So do you believe that there is a conversation to be had about blackballing, and now there is no blackballing? Because these playlists, if you kept off a playlist nowadays, that's a form of blackballing now.
I mean, if you could block a person on the phone, you could block a person in anything. Like, I don't play those, like, don't even fall for it. Like, with this, why could, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a position and people feel a certain way because that's human nature. There's no safeguard against human nature. People be doing stuff, just doing it.
I agree. They do
That's the truth. Ain't no safeguard against human nature, VPR.
Yeah,
that's the other part of technology, right? It's giving people opportunities, but also it's giving everybody an opportunity to feel like they have so much to say, or like they can be influential, or that they should attack people because of what their beliefs are. So, the opportunities are vast, but
I think everybody attacks everybody at one point of the day. Everybody else at one point of the day.
Nah, it's because we from New York. Don't lie. We like this. Don't put it on the world. Don't do that.
No, I don't even attack. I just defend. You know what I mean? I'm definitely just saying.
One person's defense is another person's offense.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you made it sound good, Kiana, but
then I'm on defense.
You tried.
I'm on D.
Yeah. So, what new projects are you working on right now? What do you have coming up? You know, what show dates do you have? Because you're always shooting something. So, what's going on?
Trying to put together some shows now. Working on the project, pushing this Peso Poppy brand on DCM Entertainment. Trying to push Ray Roulette project. A couple of special projects. We collective. Shout out to OMG Music Group. That's fam Spade. Headstrong, Knots, Cal, that's fam, and Phantom Music Group. So, we all heavily, because, we rock with Who Mag Distribution, Sony Distribution. Shout out to Rob Swartz. So we got a lot of projects coming out. We got singles coming out. Everybody's got singles ready to come out. I think maybe, it goes in waves.
Sometimes. I was about to say, and I want to get all them singles to VPR with drops. So when I'm out spinning these clubs,
no problem.
Boom, I need some, yeah.
Right, and you have a single coming up too, don't you?
Yeah, we have a single that's out, new video called "Get It," produced by Peso Poppy.
Yeah, make sure y'all get it right here. In case y'all ain't paying attention, VPR, get it right there.
Yeah, YouTube videos out. It's on streaming on all platforms. DCM Entertainment, Who Mag, Sony. Dope song. It's all 808 music. People. It's funny, I've been doing radio and people are like, oh, it's trap. I'm like, did you hear me rhyme, bro? Did you really? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. It's funny because
trap beat and you know what I mean, trap lyrics for sure.
And I listen to it and I'm just like, oh, it's like a trap beat, but I'm like, he's spitting.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
love to hear a good spit on a trap beat because the trap beat, no matter what you say, like the trap beat is gonna get you going. You know what I mean? For me, it's the trap beat and then trashy lyrics that always makes me say, wait. I gotta stop, like the head bop goes to, wait, what? So when you go hard on the trap beat, oh my God.
But it's music, like to me, like let's say hip hop is 50 years old now, right?
Yeah.
So hip hop is big enough. It's global. It's probably went global at least 5 times, 6 times.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's big enough to have subgenres.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
First of all, everybody doesn't have to rhyme one way.
That's
that
right.
Would kill variety. That would kill originality.
Yep.
So I rhyme to whatever I want to rhyme to with music I feel like. I listen to a whole plethora of different music. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure y'all do. You know, we're not listening to one genre of music.
Catch me listening to Taylor Swift, I'm telling you.
Exactly.
I mean, most New Yorkers, if it's fire, I'm listening to it.
Yeah.
So I just do it. And I don't like to stay in one particular style. If you listen to my music, every single's been different from the last single. I try to push the envelope, but at the same time, I'm coming back around to it.
Right.
Because I know what's a good feeling. We all got that good feeling. I'm all about New York, the New York sound, the big drum sound, the boom bap sound too, but I also like different music. I like new music. I like newer sounding stuff. For them, it's new. For me, it's just the 808 drum.
And VPR, I love that because it's a melting pot and it's a blending of the two. Last week they was having conversations. Oh, New York don't got a sound still. That's not. No, New York does have a sound. Whether trap is one part of it. Boom bap is still one part of it. It has many sounds. And
New York is the sound. How about that?
I don't care what nobody say.
You know what I'm saying? New York is like Mama Africa, who birthed the world.
The original sound. Like,
right.
When you go to another country, they got black people in another country. They talk different.
Yeah.
They're still black.
That's right. But I bet you if you put on some Biggie or whatever, they'll all come together and they'll all say the lyrics the same exact way, even if they don't speak English.
Or 50 Cent.
Or 50.
Somebody gonna know 50 Cent somewhere.
Well, shout out to 50 with the world tour.
Right.
I mean, when you go to any country, when you play music and it's good, I don't care if they listen to everything. Mm-hmm. Different creed, different culture, different color. Music is universal.
That's a fact, VPR. No lies being told. So before we wrap up today's show, is there anything that you want to tell our guests, I mean, actually our viewers that are watching right now, what projects to look out for? Where can they find your music, and where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. My handle is the same as the spelling, RHYMRCKA. That's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you can find me. The new music is Get It. News video is Get It. It's out on all streaming platforms. It's on YouTube. But we relaunching the DCM Digital Network for the site. Everything's gonna come. We got DCM gear coming, fresh new, you know what I'm saying, crew neck sweaters and all that. We merchant, man. We merchant. You already know how it is.
That is. I say that, my brother.
Hit me up on Instagram. Show me some love. Reach out. Producers come with that fire. Looking for everything, man. We out here trying to tear it down.
That's it. And we love your drive and love to see, you know, your continued success. And
thank you for having me.
Thank you for
of course. Listen, it's all fam and love, and we'll definitely bring you back again so we can chat and see what you've been up to. What's been going on?
Love costs you nothing. Love costs you nothing, and show love is priceless, and it's endless, and it transfers. That's all.
Right. Listen. This is the vibration. You know what I'm saying? What is there else to say? It's a mic drop. That's why I tell people all the time, your energy, that's your currency. You know what I'm saying? Use it wisely. We're here to spread love. So this has been a great show. It's a very dreary day out here in New York, but we're bringing through all the sunshine, all the positivity. So thank you again, Rhyme Recca, for coming through. We'll have you back on soon. We love you guys. We want you to stay positive. Keep toxic people and situations away from you. Smile, be kind, and we will see you next week. This is VPR.
Shaba.